Hi, I'm John DeLucca. I you know, do a lot of artwork for the band. So that's it, man. I live in Lakewood, Ohio, just outside of Cleveland. Um, got two kids. Went to the Ringling College of Art and Design. Um, yeah. I used to work at American Greetings for a few years. I don't know. Now I'm trying to, make it as a freelancer. Um, since 2020, full-time freelance. So yeah, that's about all the background I think for now. Um, let's get into some questions, I guess. Let's see here.
So if you guys don't know, there's a little button. There should be a button to raise your hand. If you want to ask a question, go ahead. Raise your hand if you have a question. If you're just here to listen in, that's cool.
Um,
We had some questions that the mods put together that we can start with too.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
let's.
guess we start with those, yeah, and then we'll get to these.
Yeah.
Okay, let me read one here. Let me scroll up to it.
There are some people raising their hands now. I don't know
Yeah,
why
that's
their face looks like that, but
Yeah. So we do have some hand raises now too. Yahoo!
Yay!
They're gone.
Everybody, keep those on your mind
Yes.
because we'll get to them.
Or you can keep
Okay,
your hands up and we'll go down the line. One of the two.
yeah, definitely. So one of the questions was, this is about drawing Mega Man for Act 3. So what was the process of designing
Oh,
Mega Man for Act 3, and how did you finalize that? And feel free to elaborate a lot because there's been a lot of people talking about it. Everyone, of course, in the Mega Man and Protomen fandom is really interested in how people design their takes on the robots.
sure, yeah. So I did, I've drawn Mega Man for myself a few times, especially like back after I first encountered the Protomen. And my version of him was always a very Japanese Yasuomi Umetsu style uh kind of like superhero, like Kashan Robot Hunter. He always looked like that. Um so I guess when I got to do him for Act 3, the Protomen have their own somewhat established idea, at least internally, within the band. They know what he looks like. Um the the official artwork of him has always been, it's like dark and obscured. So we just try to keep the elements that were important to them: the trench coat, um, the helmet, that kind of stuff. When I started, I did a bunch of sketches of his face without the helmet. Um, a lot of them were just variations. It was like a slider between man and machine, kind of. And we settled on one that they liked the best, and I mean that was it. By the we would get. I did a basically finished thing, and we sat on it for a while and looked at it and made sure that it's what we wanted. I think Commander felt like the eyes, I'd given him these like Teddy Ruxpin um like Steven Spielberg AI robot kind of eyelids, and I think they felt that that was too puppy dog like. So I think a turning point in the design was I gave him like sockets, like the T800 eye socket, and pushed the eyes back into a socket instead of the big eyelids. And because they wanted him to have a toughness instead of this kind of like he looked really youthful and I don't know, naive. And that was really the biggest. A lot of the other stuff was about like how tilted the head should be in that particular piece of art and stuff like that. So that was really the main thing, and we just kept referring back to the Act One booklet. Um, he wanted more like seams around his eyes and stuff to sort of try to get as much continuity between Act One and Act Three as possible. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. We like hearing the background. Okay, we'll do an audience question now. There's a feature for anyone who may have just joined that you can raise your hand, and even if we don't choose you right away, you just keep your hand raised and we'll go down the queue. And you'll be able to speak for a little bit, and then you can choose to leave the stage. Otherwise, we'll do that for you because this is a new feature. So we'll go with. I don't think I can actually prove anyone. Looking at
Okay,
it.
that's I've got Sydney. Oh no, go on.
We're all brand new to this one.
Okay, so whenever you raise your hand, you're going to get, if we invite you to speak, you're going to get a little pop-up at the bottom, or it'll pull you in. It depends on what device you're on. I think for mobile, it gives you the little option piece. You'll have to say, hey, you've been invited to speak, come in and speak. So we've got you guys. We're getting there.
Yep, I'm here now. All right,
Okay, hi.
so yeah. Hey, so by the way, thank you for doing this, and
Yeah, sure.
thank you for the lovely commission you are doing for me and a couple of fans. I am so excited to see the Ramoon thing that we're doing. Yeah, fun stuff. So my question was about the my question was about the Act 3 posters. So for every song, you did a poster for each release that happened. And so I was curious, what one was your favorite one to draw? Because they're all so good, but I'm wondering if there's one that you particularly liked the best.
Yeah, I think there's a few that I'm especially proud of, and I think calling out um is one of my favorites, and
Yeah.
Show of Force I think was another one of my favorites. Those two I got a little carried away on, and I think they after I did those, it sort of changed the level that I had to do all of them to.
Yeah.
Because we got started on doing these probably a little too late. And I don't think when we started, I fully understood what the plan for them was. I knew these were going to be part of the booklet. Um, and I also thought they were going to be like, I don't know, spot illustrations or like icons or something much more simple than entire scenes. So, so I started trying to simplify them as much as I could. And I don't know, by the time I got to some of these, shoot, what was it? Buried in the Red, I'm doing a cityscape with raindrops on the window and like multiple characters, and I'm just like, there's no way these are going to be simple. Just too much going on. And yeah, I don't know, they just ballooned into these like even ones that I'd done early on that I thought were done, I had to go back and revisit and bring them up to the same level as the rest of them. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, those two I think are probably my favorite ones.
Yeah, you can clearly see I'm also a fan of the calling out one, considering that's literally my Discord profile picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for answering my question. I'm so glad that you're able to answer. And yeah, it was great having a poster for every single week, every single drop. It really was a lot of the experience too, seeing the art and listening to the song. So yeah, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Right. Bye.
Thanks, Sydney.
Bye.
Yeah, the calling out art was really popular in this server even after calling out was released. I think we had like 20 people who made it their icon or something. It was hard to tell people apart anymore.
Yeah, the calling out one was, I think, the most popular in the server so far. Has been. I think so far it's been
It
the most
makes sense too. I mean, it's
popular. Yeah,
it's round too. It's like a perfect icon
it's
shape.
perfect. Yeah, it's right
Yeah.
there. All right, we've got. Do we want to do another mod question or another audience?
We should choose someone from the forum.
Oh yeah, the forum. Yes, yes, yes. Nova, I'll let you take that one over.
Okay, I was just looking at them. If you submitted a question to the forum, but then you get chosen here in the stream, I will just close your post in the forum. So if you see it disappear, that's just us cleaning house.
Here.
Well, someone asked, Kiro Kudo, can I get the Lights Last Stand art as a poster at MagFest? And it was also a mod question to bring up and ask like what you're gonna do at MagFest for people here who will be attending. Like, give us the deets.
Yeah. So I'm just there with a table. I'm hoping to be right next to the band. Usually when we're there at the same time, we're right next to each other. So, but yeah, I'm just let's see, selling prints. I wouldn't be selling like Protomen artwork. That's their stuff. They hired me, so I like unless I got express permission from them, I wouldn't like sell Protomen stuff on my own. I mean, just like I don't know, it's an ethical thing for me. Um, but I'll have prints of some of my own stuff, some of my, I've done Protomen inspired things. Um, I've got some original drawings, made a few stickers, I did a coloring book. I just put together a zine of some of my horror illustrations, and I'll have some copies of a horror anthology comic that I did a segment for. Um, that I think is pretty cool. Mine's like a 10-page segment. It's kind of a trans revenge, like EC Comics inspired thing. Um, so trigger warning on that for some transphobia and gore, but otherwise, check it out. But as far as what the band's doing with these posters, I'm not entirely sure. So I hope they have posters. I know everyone's been clamoring for them, so I'd love for everyone to get all the posters they want. So I'm hoping that they'll have those for you as well. But I don't know 100%.
Nice. I'm sure it'll be great. And I really hope you do get next to the band because then everybody gets that cross marketing thing going on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
We'll take an audience question if anyone wants to raise their hand. Someone did, but
Yeah, they said in side chat that
oh,
that was going to be their question as well. There was one that was thrown in side chat. They're too scared to ask by raising their hand. John, what is your favorite Pokemon? The people gotta know.
Oh, damn.
We'll throw in one
I,
goofy question.
to my shame, I'm not a big Pokemon guy. I think
Unfortunate.
I like just missed it. I'm 42. I think Pokemon started to get popular with the age group like just behind me.
That's fair. Yeah.
I played I played like Pokemon Snap and uh, a little bit of Red on the Game Boy, but so any of my favorites are going to be like those early ones. Man, Venusaur is cool. Uh,
You know what? That's acceptable. Venusaur isn't acceptable. Venusaur is cool.
hell yeah,
Yeah. You know
I
what?
get it.
That's valid. Yeah, Venusaur is valid. All right, we have our hand raises officially.
Nice.
We'll throw you in.
Sweet.
Hello.
Check, check. What's up?
Hello. How you
Hey,
doing?
John. I'm good, man. I'm glad you're here. I
Great.
love your work.
Thank you.
I've got kind of an off the wall question, which is, you've obviously spent a lot of time with our proto fam. Like, who's the one band member that you would absolutely get a beer with any day of the week?
Oh wow. I mean, Kilroy is a party guy for
For sure.
sure. So he's always a really fun hang. Um, I'm trying to think of who. It's tough because whenever we're like together, we're busy.
Right.
Um, so I mean, I would say the ones that I'm closest with, the ones that I've talked to the most, are Commander and Murphy, and well, Gambler. We chat sometimes,
Ooh.
and Bacher a bit. So yeah, but Kilroy's the party guy. I mean, he'd be a blast to go out with, I'm sure.
One day. Well, hopefully one day we'll all be so lucky.
Yeah,
Oh, but cool. Thanks, John. Thanks
yeah,
for the
yeah,
mods
yeah.
too.
We can do another audience question since they're coming in now.
Yeah.
Hi,
Well,
Lexington.
hi there. Thank you for letting
Hello.
me speak and say hello. Hi. Thanks again. Thanks for jumping on and doing this.
Of course.
I was curious about you've got this really interesting style that you're using for these. I haven't actually seen any of your other work. Sorry. But you have this really interesting style. It's almost like it's very carved out of the darkness. Very it's black and then singular colors. I was just curious about your art process, tools, things like that. I like hearing about how artists do art things. So yeah, that.
Sure. So these are entirely digital. Um, I used to do, like drawings on paper and scan them and then uh, color them digitally. But at this point, I've gotten so comfortable with the tablet and everything, it's just easier to go in straight digital. So yeah, just Photoshop. I have a brush that's got kind of a subtle texture on it that I like for doing like penciling. Um, I think it's even one of the general like in the box brushes for Photoshop. Um, so yeah, the carving out of the dark thing I think comes from lots of comics. That's the Frank Miller and Mike Mignola influence coming through. Um, and
Oh,
also, as I mentioned before, like we were trying to do these fast, so plunging as much of it into the dark as possible uh, helped keep things moving. So
no,
yeah,
it's
there's always
style.
the.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I just said no, it's style. It's style. That's what you don't
Yes,
don't don't kill the
yes,
mystique, man.
yes, of course. But yeah, I mean, there's always like practical concerns too. Time is always a factor. Um, but yeah. Anything else that I didn't hit?
Yeah, that was it. I like your style. Wanted to talk about it. Like to hear those
Cool.
influences. Those sound. I mean, those are all rad things, and I see that coming through in your art. But yeah, you got a bold style, and I'm really glad that they brought you on to do these illustrations, man. And thanks for talking.
Thank you.
Okay, we can do an admin question. I think it was brought up by Lexington too, the topic anyway. Folks were wondering what the timeline and process was for making the Act 3 artwork. Were you really working on like one piece of art per week, or were they made ahead of time, or what was the process for working on the track art, and how long did each one take?
Yeah, so again, before I really understood what they were being used for, I did like a batch. I think I did 18 sketches. Um, well, more than 18 sketches, but it's sketches for 18 pieces of art. And yeah, we just worked through the process on all of them. I got sort of approval on a few of them and just started going to the finish on some of them. And then that's kind of when I realized they were going to be releasing them weekly with the tracks, and I was like, oh crap. So I had to sort of get into gear because I was working on them out of order. Um, so I think one of the first ones I actually did was the Fate of Thomas Light art. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, it became a problem because once I did the hold on art, we'd spent so much time figuring out what Mega looked like. I had to go back and fix Thomas Light one to, make the face match and put the pauldron on and all this stuff that I hadn't done before. So yeah, I mean it was tight. We were working on it right up until the last second on just about all of them. So it was a stressful time. There's other ones too that like I had to finish. We had pretty hard deadline for all of them, and there are some that are only going to be like in the booklet or whatever. So I was working on those as well. And yeah, I mean, I got behind that one time that everyone noticed. And
Oh, I
uh,
mean, don't feel bad about that. We're all just crazy in here. We hang on to everything, as you've probably noticed.
no, I mean, I didn't take any of it personally. That's why I thought it was fun to sort of take the hit for it, honestly. I didn't want the band, I didn't want people thinking that the band, screwed up or whatever. That was me. That was a me thing. So, um, but yeah, it was a lot of work very quickly.
Nice. Okay, we'll do another audience question then. I've invited Binto.
Hey, how's it going? Quick
Oh,
question.
good.
Just wanted to kind of hear your thoughts on what inspired you to get into art to begin with.
Wow. Yeah, I think I'd always drawn as far back as I can remember. I like to draw. Um, I'd never considered it a possible career until a high school art teacher convinced me that it could be. Um, she trying to think exactly what she said to me, but I mean, I don't know. She was just like an inspiring person. She taught me to love film too, like older film. I think I'd been into film for a little while, but she got me. We watched High Noon in her class, and that was like, I was like, wow. I didn't think like old movies could be like this, but Yeah, so it was at some time in high school. He was like, "Yeah, you can do this. This is a career. Like, this is a thing you can pursue." And I just didn't. There was nothing else that I loved. Like, I just did art because I had to. I drew all the time because I loved it, and yeah. I mean, shockingly, my parents were supportive and agreed that I could go to art school. And yeah, so here I am.
Well,
God.
that's awesome. That's a great reason. How do you feel like from like the beginning? I know you said you've been doing this for a bit. How do you feel like your style has changed? I imagine with different projects and stuff, it kind of has to fit with the project. But how have you kind of developed your own style through the years?
I, it's weird. Like, I don't feel like I have one. I think there are people that look at my stuff and they say like, "Oh, I can tell that's you" or whatever. I never really felt like I developed a style. Um, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but artists really can't look at themselves objectively. So, um, but I would say if I have a look, um, it comes from my earliest influences were like film noir posters and like pulp novel covers. Um, that's like what I wanted to do. Like back in art school, it was all my reference. I painted in oil, and my my senior thesis was all like pulp novel illustration stuff. And I think that still kind of carries through. I still like, hard shadows, um, and I still like realism. So yeah, I mean, those particular styles of art, comic art and film, are all my biggest sort of like sources of inspiration. So if I have a style, I get it from those things. Specific
Yeah, I got you.
directors, specific, yeah, yeah.
Well, if we're lucky, then maybe the band will let you do a film noir oil painting to commemorate the album. We'll see.
Well, yeah, God, at this point, I don't know if I could do oil anymore, but
Yeah.
I'll do my best to recreate the look in
Yeah. Hey,
Photoshop.
well, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, everybody make sure you're getting your hands raised. You'll probably have to wait in the queue a bit, but we'll do one of the questions from the forum now. Just let me navigate there, because Discord only lets me look at one screen at a time. There's some beginning artists who have like career questions. So for example, Lucina is asking, what business decisions should amateur artists be aware of once they start to enter the show business? Like for example, when charging for cover art, was it a flat rate fee or royalties on the table? Or how does that work?
I have never gotten like a royalty agreement. It's tough out there, um, and it's getting tougher, to be honest. I think we're all aware that like AI is becoming a problem. Um, but and it's tough too because like the industry is going to have like sort of different kind of standards. So if you're looking at publishing, um, I would there's a resource called the hold on a sec. Let me get my book here. I can't find it, but it's called like the Graphic Artists Guild. I can look it up. Anyway, it's got a lot of good. There's no union or anything for artists, so the Graphic Artists Guild does its best to kind of like give artists standards um for fairness, so that you're not getting ripped off. um and this is a book that I got in college. They put out a new one every now and again. Yeah, the Graphic Artists Guild Handbook. So it's gonna give you sort of guidelines on pricing, on contracts. Um, it'll give you like a range for pricing depending on your like experience or like the size of the publisher or whatever. So I would, and it also deals with all kinds of different industries. So it'll have like magazine, digital publishing, whatever, etc. Any of those video game stuff probably at this point. So I would look into the Graphic Artist Handbook. I think it might even have sample contracts in there. Um, so yeah, really good resource. Also, just check the internet. Like if you get a contract, just I do this all the time because I take whatever work I can get, and it's not always stuff that I've done before. So I'll just Google like how much should I get for this kind of job, and I figure out if it makes sense for me or not. So, and then it's going to change as you grow. You'll start asking for more as you get better, more work. So, yeah, I mean, it's a big question.
Yeah, I bet.
And yeah, it's a tough game at the moment. So try not to get discouraged, um, because like you're gonna get rejected a lot. I mean, we all do.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Thanks for answering the question.
Sure.
The asker says in the chat, sounds tough, but I have a dream to build.
I mean, that's that's what's got to keep you going, honestly. Um, you have to be willing to do like a lot of stuff. You have to be willing to put in a lot of hours. Like the only way I've done this, and I'm not successful, to be honest with you. Like I've been doing freelance for 5 years exclusively, and some of it's that I've just haven't been good enough. Like when I started, like I mean, I look at other artists. You always got to compare yourself to other artists. You shouldn't, but you're gonna. And there's so many incredible artists out there that are also like not doing that well. I found out like Corey Brickley, who's an incredible like cover artist. As far as I know, makes like 30 grand a year. I've never broken 20 grand a year. The only reason I can do this is because my wife has a good job. So, and not to be a downer or anything, but it's just like hard. And I'm very privileged to be able to do it right now.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that us as proto fans can help support you and interview you and see you at MagFest and everything too. So there's a lot of you're probably looking at the chat too, but there's a lot of support for you in the chat. So
Yeah.
No, I mean I appreciate it. I'm not trying to like get sympathy or anything, but
no.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
plug you real quick. Hey, hold on. There's the Etsy link. Everybody go ahead, buy everything.
Heck yeah.
I have to update that store. God, there's like 3 things in
All right, let's do another audience question. Iris, you're at the top of the queue.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a question that I posted in the thread, and it's about the like very clear inspiration from the Streets of Fire poster in Act 2 artwork, and was it like an artistic decision you took yourself, or was it like the band's idea, or like I'm curious if there were like any other design proposals for Act 2 artwork that were maybe like rejected or something?
Sure. Yeah. They almost always come in with a very solid idea of what they want, especially for covers.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little more like room to play around with the Act 3 posters that we did, but the covers they always know what they want. So that was a them thing. Streets of Fire was a them thing, and it also
Mhm.
came along with like Joe being Edward Paré and Diane Lane being Emily and
Mhm.
and Willem Dafoe being Wiley. That's all Streets of Fire stuff. So um, yeah, um, came directly from them. There was honestly not in terms of different directions. No, not
I
really. That
see.
was like the main direction. There was like details that we futzed with, but for the most part,
Yeah.
that was it the whole
Yeah,
time.
I feel like there aren't really that many differences you can make with a design like this. Then, well, thank you for the answer. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's funny. Like I saw Streets of Fire a while back because I liked Walter Hill, the Warriors and Southern Comfort, and then Streets of Fire, and then it was really funny to get, I don't know, this like weird movie, cult movie, and to get like one of my first like big illustration jobs is like big reference to this poster for this off the wall movie. It's really funny.
I
It
haven't
was like
seen. No, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, it was just funny to have that like immediate connection with them. That we'd both seen this kind of silly movie and that it meant so much to them. Um, yeah, it was just like a a cool, funny thing that really like I felt set up our relationship. You know.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie, and a lot of the people in the server haven't, but we're hosting, I'm sure you were noticing that we're going to have some movie nights um, for things that inspired parts of the Protomen. So we're going to be seeing Streets of Fire sometime after MagFest. And then
Nice.
staring at your
That's
artwork.
awesome.
Um,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when I Commander gave me a playlist at some point that I had on my MP3 player, um, and I had at least two songs from Streets of Fire. Had some like M83, some Bonnie Tyler. I mean, it was like a whole Proto Men inspiration playlist. It was awesome.
nice. Okay. We'll do another admin question here, and then we'll do another audience question. And since we're already talking about it, one of the questions was, we just watched Terminator yesterday, and we know that you were there for part of it, which was great. So how has that movie inspired your work with the Proto Men? And for everybody watching, we're also going to watch Terminator 2 this Friday. So
Um, yeah, I mean, I know like there are some of you that know a lot about the sort of intersection of the Proto Men and the Terminator. When it comes to how it inspired me, it's like a more general kind of like vibe thing. The cinematography, like I don't know, it's just how it makes you feel. Um, so when it comes to like referencing particular things, I leave the details to the band. Like the sniper is, I assume, the Terminator, essentially. It's got the red eye. They reference red eyes. I'm sure that's Terminator. Um, I have looked. I mean, I use the T800 like endoskeleton as a reference for robot designs. I'm pretty sure I used it for the cover up robot to a degree. But yeah, it's like movies tend not to find their way in a very specific way into my work, but in a sort of general like vibes way is how media affects my stuff, I think.
Yeah, that's neat. I know that we were comparing the Terminator movie robot to well, the cover up specifically, but we could see some of it. We liked it.
Good.
All right, let's do Loper Nash. I'm inviting you to speak.
So, question I had was, how open to interpreting their work, the Protomen's work, were you able to do? Like, did you ever like come to them with a design for something and they're just like, oh, that's not at all what we were thinking of, or like?
That has happened, yes. There's definitely times I've like missed the mark with a sketch or something. I mean, we don't let it get too far before they shut it down. But yeah, like Act 3 stuff, sometimes there'd be details that um need to be there that'll change the like entire like composition. So that's happened before, but they are very specific. They know like they've known the story for a long time, and so yeah, they have a very specific idea of like what needs to exist in each piece. Like what does this piece need to like say? And yeah, they know all that stuff. So there's not a lot of wiggle room. My space to be creative is in the composition, usually when I'm working with them. Not so much with I'm not helping to write the story or anything. That stuff's set.
Nice. Do you have anything else, Lope?
No, that's pretty thorough. Well-worded. Thank you.
Great. Yeah. Okay, this is the top most upvoted question in the question submission thread.
Ooh.
Is there a chance we might someday receive full reference drawings of the main characters or even full design displays of like the robot masters?
Um, like a character sheet kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm assuming they mean like turnarounds or character sheets or well, there's a
Oh,
lot
okay.
of like artists in here, and I think that they're hungering for references.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because like I personally love seeing all the Protomen fan art. I worry that like really nailing everything down as like canon, um, I don't want that to like stifle anybody's like vision of what the characters could be. Um, I kind of like I don't know. I think of light as just like a coat and a scarf. In a lot of the drawings, that's like all you can see of him, uh, and his face, I guess. But so I like having room for people to play around, but I don't know. One day maybe. I know at one point, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I should say anything about this. But
That's okay.
I've done a full turnaround of Joe. Um, I don't know if we'll release it or not for any particular reason. But it's something I mean, like that would be fun for me to do. But as far as anything like official from the Protomen, I don't know if they would do that or not.
Yeah, makes sense. I know that we look at your art a lot, and one of our fan artists said, "Thanks for making Light's weird hair lump from his canon work in the what is it, the Light's Last Stand art? I don't know, the one with him in it." So we like your interpretations.
I love taking, and I know this was like it's like a trend at some point where people would take like cartoon characters and make them realistic or whatever. But I love taking really super deformed characters like Mega Man and giving them human proportions and stuff like that. I don't know. I find that like a fun challenge. But this was a
Yeah, well,
little
I
different
guess
too because there was a very specific like reference point for what they wanted like to look like. So
yeah, I guess if you like making cartoon characters look realistic, Mega Man is a pretty fun challenge considering
yeah,
their
for
weird
sure.
proportions and everything. And the chat was also very excited to hear that you have a Joe ref sheet because Joe's one of the top characters in this server, so okay, we can take another audience question. I'm sending Abstract a
I
request.
would go as far to say that Joe is probably the most popular server character. Like,
That's my go right there.
mine too. You get it.
First things first. Hello, love your artwork. I'm sure you've heard that a million times, but I'm gonna say it anyways.
I
Um,
appreciate it every time. Thank you.
I have a two-parter because you had brought up movies. I'm a huge movie fan as well, and
Yeah.
I was wondering if you had an all-time favorite movie poster. Like mine, for example, is The Thing. And when I saw the initial cover for Act 3, I was immediately reminded of that because of the color scheme. And I was wondering if you had
Okay.
one that rang close to home or just has stick with you all these years.
Um, favorite movie poster. I'm trying to think. It's tough because I got into like a number of years ago, got into the like alt movie poster collecting world.
Uh-huh.
So like some of them are the ones I'm thinking of are like alt posters.
Mhm.
Um, there's like a Rich Kelly Django Unchained poster that I really love. But official posters. You know what? Rotor. I don't know if you've seen the poster for Rotor. As Rotor. The movie's trash. But the official poster slaps so hard that it's frustrating.
All right.
It's actually like it's so I had a podcast, a bad movie podcast for a little while, and I kept getting like super hyped to do posters for these awful movies. I thought it was so much fun to make a garbage movie look incredible with a poster. Um, so yeah, Rotor or like something like the original Mad Max artwork, which is actually really similar to Rotor, actually.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, hell yeah.
yeah, something like that.
Okay, great. Yeah, that one does go very hard. Um, and then my second question, also tied to movies, if you guys don't mind. So considering the Protomen are like a very heavy rock opera group with their own elaborate story that they've made, a lot,
Yeah.
especially with how Act 3 has been releasing like week by week, it's reminded me of seeing like the trailers and posters for some of my like highly anticipated movies, right? I was wondering if you ever got that feeling while you were doing this work, And then also, whenever you are doing work for like super story based stuff like this, how does that affect your creative journey and your own work process?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I like collaborating. I like limits. Um, so being given a story is a lot more fun to me than trying to like sit and labor over a story, that I don't have details for. That's a bad explanation, but
No, I get
I
it.
think
I get it.
limitations really like help you be creative. So
Hmm.
when you have to work within a framework, uh, I, I love that.
Uh-huh.
I think it because when like the sky's the limit, then you get overwhelmed and you can't focus or like bring a vision
Hmm.
to life. So like the thing about illustration over something like fine art or whatever is the limit. It's the collaboration, um, and I think the it always makes better work.
Hmm.
'Cause I mean, you're usually working with, if not, you know, a storyteller like this, you're working with an art director or something that's guiding you a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
It's like you were
yeah,
Yeah, it's like you were saying how you have to get creative with the composition because they want like a specific thing in mind, and that I'm sure that would kind of present a unique and fun challenge, hopefully.
yeah. I mean, absolutely. The part that I love best about working is once I know what I'm doing, I just sitting there and working on it. The like process stuff, I always kind of struggle with. Like, um, I was always like I wanted to get right into it, which is never good for the work. Uh, but as soon as I can get that sketch done and get into the final work, all the better. Um, so
All right,
anyway, uh,
all right.
that was a little off topic.
No worries. Hell yeah, man. Well, hopefully we see you at MagFest, and yeah, once again, love your stuff, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people that would say the same thing, even if they don't come up here and say it. So
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. All right, that's it for me.
All right, we're not done yet, but we're coming up on the hour. I guess John, let me know when you only want to do one or two more questions or something, so I make sure we get everything in.
Okay. Still good.
Yeah, let's do another forum question. There's a lot of questions that basically boil down to which of the art or the track art specifically for Act 3 did you enjoy making most, or that's your favorite, or that you're most proud of? And also people asking which Act 3 track is your favorite.
Um, yeah, I kind of already answered the favorite one. Um, it's actually tough because I'm just like really happy with a lot of these. Um, I mean, I'll mention the show of force one again. I love that one. Um, the it's one with I forget the name of the track now. With the boots, where she's walking away from Mega.
Oh yeah, we stare and look at all the details on that one a lot in the theorizing chat.
Yeah,
We
I
appreciate
really
how much you do with so little.
that was one of the toughest ones I think, uh, compositionally. I have a number of we went through a few sketches to try to like get the feeling right, but no, I was really pleased when we nailed that one. It felt good. My favorite track was the uh, uh, sorry, I don't remember the names as good. I've had the songs for a while, but I had one file that ran from beginning to end, and I didn't have track names. Um, but the one with the sax solo, um, what is it? Lights Last Stand. Lights Last Stand. That's my favorite track on Act 3, I think. Um, Man, it's so good. And I had it, the version I had didn't have the solo yet. They hadn't gotten that recorded yet. So it was like a weird, there's like a little interlude. That was good. It was fine. But yeah, once that sax got in there, like a whole nother beast.
Nice. Yeah, people are definitely they either really really like the sax or they don't. So and then the server, I like it. But yeah, it's fun.
I think like I don't know. It's so Protomen. Once you sort of I don't know, I've gotten to know them like a little bit as people and where their influences come from and everything and it's just like yeah, I'm sure they've been waiting their whole career to get a sax solo from that dude. So it's cool to
All
see.
right. Yeah. This is just a fun one from the mod questions. If you had a stage name, like as part of the Protomen, like the Gambler or Raoul Panther the Third, what would it be and why?
Yeah, so they got me these questions early. I've been thinking about it all day, and I think I landed on R. Django McCready. Uh, so obviously R.J. McCready from The Thing, and Django referencing my love of spaghetti westerns. So I think I'd go with R. Django McCready.
Nice. The chat approves. People are typing in all caps.
It is a cool name. When it hit me, I was like, yes, yes, dude, that's it.
All right, we're gonna take an audience question from Bench.
Hi.
Hello.
It's it's cool to be here. Thanks for yeah. I really like the art. I've got part of the Act 2 poster on my phone wallpaper.
Awesome, thank you.
I was just wondering, you never did art for Act 1, and you've drawn basically all the main characters through all the 3 acts, but I was just wondering how you would go about tackling drawing Protoman, given that you never got the opportunity.
Yeah, can I put um images in the chat or like
Yeah, we disabled that. Well, actually, you might be able to. Do you see a plus button down there?
yes.
Yeah, you should be able to upload files to the speaker.
Okay,
Otherwise, you can share your screen. There's a little button with an arrow, screen with an arrow, and control button.
oh yes, okay. Oh, yes, you're
Great. Yeah, feel free sharing images you want. Send me your artist. So.
So this was I will share my screen.
My final drawing.
For the
That's not working.
audience, the screen share might show up as the same size as the other speakers, but if you select it, it should get bigger.
Um, I share the whole thing. The best I can do right now. So this is the very first piece of like Protomen fan art that I did. um, and this is what got me noticed by the band actually. Um, my I posted it online. I didn't know that they had seen it, and then my wife got this printed on a T-shirt for me that I wore to the first time I saw them live, and they recognized it, pointing me out in the crowd, saying like, "You, we know you." And then we talked after the show, and they'd seen this piece, and that's what made them hire me for my first job with them. Um, so there's something about this that they liked. It's I don't know, it's a little embarrassing now. There's some weirdness to it, but um,
Are
yeah.
you trying to screen share?
Oh, yes. I'm
Sorry.
sorry. I didn't hit allow. Here we go.
Oh yeah, nice.
So this is I'm sure some people have seen this. I was on my like old blog or whatever. But yeah, so I'd hit on the sort of like this, you know, weird breast thing, like the Western vibes I'd hit on, even though I didn't really know much about them or their story at that point. So I think there was some kind of simpatico going on there. I'll just show you while I've got this screen share open. I'll show some of this other stuff. Um, I mean, if I was going to design him now for the band, again, they have an established version of Protoman that I would try to, nail for them. Um, I think my understanding is that he would be more mechanical than Mega Man. He would look more robotic than Mega Man does. Um, and but yeah, I mean the poncho and the chaps and all that stuff, I would that would all be there. Because I'm really just like here to execute their vision. Um, but this is kind of the style. This is my earliest Protoman fan art stuff. And I think you can maybe see the like Kashan, uh, Umetsu character design stuff in here. Um, I have this old Mega versus Proto thing.
These are awesome.
So,
If you're not looking at the chat, people are kind of blowing up a little.
oh no, I'm not.
Uh,
Hey,
someone
I
says
can.
this is arguably the coolest thing I've ever seen. Proto Man is my
Okay.
favorite character. To see a John DeLucca version is epic.
I have and I think somebody mentioned it before. I have a print that I'll have with me at Magfest of him that I did a while ago, rather blasphemously posted on Easter, and let me see if I can find it real quick.
Is it okay that folks are sharing some copies of them in the chat?
That's fine. Yeah, I was gonna
All right.
just post. I'll post them, myself. I guess they're taking screenshots. I'll
Well,
just
some
post.
of it was floating around on the old internet, and we have some people in
Oh,
here
okay.
that sort of collect files. So
Okay. Yeah.
some
No,
of
that's
us
fine.
had them on hand. Yeah.
Um. Yeah. Like this.
They're really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean it's like the same. I did this years after that first one, and it's like the same design essentially. But like I said, I like to obscure details, give you just what you need. Um, I've reworked this one a few times actually. Yeah, there's got a sort of more tattered version. Um,
Someone has posted the "shut up and take my money" gif.
Well, I will take your money at MagFest if you like. Um, I need to put that one up on my Etsy shop too. I am really behind on updating that shop. Let's see if I got anything else in here I wanted to show you. There was a question about the old website, and I found this from the old website. I don't know if this update ever got posted. I can't find. I think my old files are probably on a hard drive somewhere, but this is like the last version that I'd worked on. So it's gonna have, there's icons for links to the Facebook, the Twitter, what's that, MySpace. It's like a contact link. So we were trying to expand it and make it better. Like I said, I don't remember if this ever got actually made live, but
Hey,
yeah,
I can confirm that did make it live.
it did. Okay, I just don't remember. It's been years. So yeah, for people that didn't experience it, it was like this car down here, drove up and out of this tunnel, and then a garage door closed. This train went by every now and again. Um, Joe drove up and stopped here. Oh, the train illuminated the sniper in the alley over here. So, it was a fun little thing. Again, I kind of shudder to look at it now. The Photoshop skills were a little rudimentary at the time, but yeah, for that person, here it is.
I
Here's
can
the old
confirm to you that every
website.
single person in the Protomen fandom at that time absolutely loved this, and I'm sure we all still do. So there is nothing to be ashamed of here.
No, no, it's just like art nonsense. Oh, here's something I found. I was like I was like, what would be fun to show them? This is the reference photo for Act 2 cover. uh, this is me and my wife. Um, so there's a little bit of fun in our old apartment. God, it's messy in there. It's funny to see to like go back and find my old reference photos of me just like standing in weird poses and taking pictures of myself. Oh, here is really quick. We got questions about the design of Mega for Act 3. So this is my sketch. Um, this was my first pass. There's the puppy dog eyes. Um, and then, yeah, he's more smooth, rounded, and then we that's the final. So he's more angular, more robotic, and the eyes are a little bit less puppy dog.
That's awesome. There were definitely, yeah, you said there were some questions about showing sketches in process. If you have any more of those you want to show, totally go ahead.
I mean, I think you know, we could be here all day, and I'm sure there's people that would love to. I don't want to go through everything. I don't think I don't know if the band's been kind of cagey about releasing like process stuff before, so I don't want to go crazy. But like I say, here's a little back and forth again. It's like what they show what they want to show. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I remember when this one came out, we were thinking the composition kind of reminded us of like Hamlet.
yeah, that was 100% a reference point.
Heck yeah. I'm kind of a Shakespeare geek, so.
Yeah. So you've got this one about Casper, working with Casper. Casper's great. When he's art directing me on like non-Protomen projects, he's like very clear about what he's looking for. Something needs changing. He can articulate why and how clearly and rationally. No like wishy-washiness. And when I'm done, he does his thing, and I can always trust that it looks great. So yeah, I mean the process is always the same with almost any client. It's like sketches or a chat about what we're trying to do, then sketches, then sketches chosen, refined, and then I do the final. So yeah, he's just he's great to work with, and he's an awesome designer. So definitely want to shout out Casper. See, I've got one about other '80s media. So I know, like for me, these movies, I don't probably I like '70s more, but John Carpenter movies, almost all of them. Alien and Aliens, Blade Runner, Terminator, all big, you know, big touchstones for me. There's like the non-80s stuff would be like spaghetti westerns, especially Once Upon a Time in the West and The Great Silence. I love samurai movies. There's like cyberpunk anime, Akira, Cyber City 080, Goku Midnight Eye, like anything by Yoshiaki Kawajiri. Cinematography of Christopher Doyle and Roger Deakins are huge for me. But you know, it's hard to name everything. Like I said, I'm a big film guy, so I've watched a lot, absorbed a lot. So picking out like specific things is kind of tough, but those are definitely like big ones for me.
I did invite Gotcha in here. They had a question for you, so go ahead, Gotcha.
Okay.
Ask a question.
Thank you. John's thing was super important, so I wanted to let him speak. But John, thank you so much for doing this Q&A. You're awesome. Love your work for the album. Otsukare sama deshita. So you answered the questions like I guess I had about art pretty thoroughly, and really appreciate that. What's it? So I don't actually have any serious questions anymore. So hopefully, well, it's kind of dumb, but hopefully fun question for you. I've seen some of your other work. I know you like Bloodborne. Who is your least and most favorite Bloodborne boss?
My least favorite was it was Amygdala in the late Chalice dungeon area.
Oh no!
I had
Oh no!
I don't know if you got. I mean, I don't know who else played that far into the Chalice dungeons, but like, there's another Amygdala down there, and it killed you in one hit, I think. So I had to basically perfect that boss, and it took me forever, and I got super frustrated. So I hated that guy.
Understandable.
My favorite. I mean, Father Gascoigne's hard to beat. Very cool. Who else is cool? The yeah, I mean, I like most of them. You know, they're all very cool. You know the what's his name? The alien boss is kind of is a little whack. The giant alien. Why can't I remember his name? There's the
I mean, they're all kind
Thumerian.
of giant aliens.
Well, that's true. The Thumerian Elder in the Chalice Dungeons is a cool boss too, I thought. Um, but yeah, let's go Gascoigne. Gascoigne, he's an iconic, super cool boss.
Gascoigne's a good pick. I respect it.
Thank you.
Actually, how do you feel about the music box strat Wiley used against Father Light here in the
Oh,
Good Doctor Part 2? Bringing that music box.
I mean that's a rough move. It's
But
you gotta respect it.
yeah, I mean he came in knowing the right strats to fight him. I mean he came in with a big knife and everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Beasts all over the shop.
All blade. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much, John. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Sure, you too. We got more? We got a request here.
Yeah, we can.
Coco. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll bring you Coco in. I think I just sent you an invite, Coco. There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
I had some other questions, but you kind of answered most of them already. Like how
Okay.
you met the Protomen and stuff. So, I wanted to ask about, because you do art for a living, and a lot of people do art as a hobby. How do you kind of manage that balance between, enjoying what you do and having it be like overbearing as a workload kind of thing? And also,
Yeah,
everyone
not
wants to know what you order at McDonald's.
okay. The McDonald's orders changes, depends. But I like a good Big Mac.
Oh man, nice.
I like a double quarter pounder with cheese. It's usually one of those two things, though, to be honest. Um, and then balancing, yeah, it's tough sometimes because, like, yeah, well, I don't work there anymore, so it doesn't matter. But when I worked at American Greetings, I kept getting distracted by like stuff I wanted to do versus the stuff I had to do. So I'd be like at work drawing fan art, um, ignoring my real job. So it's the struggle's real for like feeling creative and wanting to do something and just not having the time. Um, I don't get to work on stuff that I want to do, like personal work, nearly as much as I want to. So it's a tough thing, but whenever I'm doing something, I usually get in a groove and start to really enjoy it, even if it's not like my favorite project. So um, I'm not burnt out yet. I feel like I will be. I'm starting a big like graphic novel project this year, and it's going to be tough. So I'm hoping I don't die, but uh, I might. We'll see.
Thank you for sharing your McDonald's order and also
Oh, sure.
answering the real questions. And uh,
I'll tell
can
you what I
you
get at every fast food place if you want.
can you tell us more about this future project that you guys going on? This graphic novel thing, or is that kind of private stuff still?
I mean, I can. The basics are it's a historical fiction set in the 80s in Iran about the use of chemical weapons. So it's kind of a grim subject matter, but uh, yeah, I'm starting on it now, like this week. So 120. I know historical 80s. I'm I'm also old. I say historical because it takes place in the past. But anyway, yeah, it's there's a lot of I'm reading the script and it's like a lot of military vehicles and stuff, and I'm just like, oh boy. But we'll get through it.
That sounds really cool. Thanks for sharing and answering
Yeah,
questions and stuff. We all appreciate it.
sure. Thank you.
I believe in you, John. You've totally got this. I'm going to go ahead read a question we got from Anna Z in the forum. It's they say, "Hi, I love your work. My first introduction to your illustrations was the Mountain Goats Bleed Out cover. So my question is, what is your personal favorite project you've ever worked on that you feel is underrated?"
Ooh, underrated. See, like it's tough because the Protomen stuff is all appropriately rated, I think. Um, I did I think I mentioned before how I like to make posters for bad movies, and I made a poster for a movie called Warriors of the Wasteland, which is like an Italian Mad Max ripoff. Um, I did it for there's a gallery in LA called Gallery 1988. They do mostly like pop culture stuff. So they have an annual show called Crazy for Cult, and I did that poster for that uh, show, and I sold 0 copies of a prints of that poster. So I loved what I did. I was really proud of it, but also it's for like a property that no one could possibly care about. So yeah, I'll say Warriors of the Wasteland poster. It's probably my most underrated thing. And I'll speak on the Mountain Goats thing really quick because there is a Protomen connection. So after the Act 2 vinyl was released, um, there is a trade show called Making Vinyl, and it's like design awards for physical music packaging. So I'm not exactly sure how the nomination process works, but the Act 2 vinyl got nominated for 3 categories, and we didn't win any of them, unfortunately. But I was sent to Detroit as the representative for the album um, at the awards show, and I met the art director for Merge Records while I was there, and yeah, I said, hey, you know, I'm trying to be a professional illustrator here, so I got to talk up the art directors. So I put my card in his hand and told him who I was and everything. And then years later, he contacts me to do the Mountain Goats album. He said he's been holding on to my card, waiting for the right project, and I thought that was so cool and sweet. And also got to do work for the Mountain Goats, which is incredible. So yeah, that's a fun story. Also, really really cool stuff.
That was a fun story. I really like that it all sounds like it's working out for you in some places. So I'm happy. I hope it continues to only go upwards from here.
Me too. Thank you.
We have some more questions. I'm gonna go ahead and ask V. V, will you join us?
Hello.
Hello.
I hope you guys can hear me okay. The question that I had was more specifically like from one artist to another. I heard you talk earlier about burnout, and I feel like I've been dealing with that a little bit myself because I mean, I really don't draw as much as I used to when I was a little bit younger. I mean, but I still find the time every now and then to try, like when the spark does hit, it does hit. and I'm still able to draw something. But I tend to have that issue of like perfectionism. I cannot talk. And I just kind of wanted to know, is there any like tips or like advice that you could give to somebody who like deals with that kind of like issue with perfectionism, like to get over it?
Yeah, that's honestly a struggle that I have too.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that has deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
Deadlines help with perfectionism. Uh,
Okay.
like if you're doing something for yourself, set your
Mm-hmm.
own deadline, and yeah, try to stick to it. Um,
Okay.
because I think like just working on working on the same piece forever isn't
Mm-hmm.
helping you get better. It
Mm-hmm.
might be making the piece better, it might not. It's hard to say, but
Mm-hmm.
I think like finishing something and starting over again is like I think how you improve. It's doing more work, not noodling on one thing.
Okay.
So that's kind of my advice. I think deadlines are the thing that keeps me from like spending eternity on a piece. Which is part of the reason why I don't do that much personal stuff. Uh, I have like I have a comic, another comic that a friend of mine wrote that we were gonna do together. Um, that I spent so goddamn much time on these pages because I was like, this is my first comic. It's got to be the best thing I've ever done. Um, that it just never went anywhere. I didn't finish it, so now we don't have a comic. So I think it's better to
Mm-hmm.
finish something than to try to make it perfect.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, sure.
That's all the questions I have. So
Thank
Thank you, V.
you.
thank you.
All right. I'm gonna put you back into the audience. Let's see. We'll go ahead. We'll take another question from the audience. We'll take a question from Harlequin right here. Go ahead and accept that. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. I I adore your art.
Thank you.
But my question is more culturally related because I've realized that I've recognized almost all like the bad 80s movies that you've mentioned.
Uh-huh.
I'm hoping you'll be able to choose here. But if you had
Okay.
to choose Desert Island, Chips Are Down, Mac and Me, or Nuki.
Would you believe I've not seen either of them? Uh, yeah, I don't know, Mac. I know the I know the scenes from Mac and Me. Um, I guess I would have to. I've seen like Red Letter Media do both of those movies, or did they do Mac and Me? I think they did. Um, Mac and Me seems like a more watchable movie to me than Nuki. um, but I'm sorry to disappoint. I don't. I'm not super familiar with either of them.
All right. Well, thank you for the question, Harlequin. Um, yeah, no, I have a question here though. In the forum, it's from Rego. They say they are trying to learn how to do digital painting. Is there any resources you recommend? I know you put in the that little handbook either, but I think they're actually specifically asking like, how to learn.
Yeah, yeah. The handbook would be more for like business stuff. Um, resources for how to learn. Um, it's um, it's tough because I feel like I kind of brute forced it. When I was in art school, like I said, I did oil painting, and digital painting was kind of like a side class. Um, so I always tell people to think of digital painting as a medium. It's not like a tool, it's a medium. So the fundamentals, like you have to be able to draw um, fundamentally to like the Photoshop's not going to make you a better artist. Um, so yeah, doing fundamental stuff, knowing how to draw. You already know how to draw. It's getting comfortable using a tablet or you know what are those things? The screens. I still use a tablet, but um, so yeah, you kind of got to get used to it. It's a different feeling from working on paper. Um, Photoshop's hard. It's such a robust program. I mean, it's really about using it and familiarizing yourself with the tools and what they do. And um, I use Google all the time. If there's something I don't know how to do in Photoshop, you know, I ask the computer and it tells me. uh, so yeah, it's tough to, without like a specific question. Um, I mean, you also need to be like, and this goes back to perfectionism a little bit, is that like working digitally gives you so much power um, to alter and nudge and change every little detail. You got to be careful not to get like lost in that because again, it'll consume you. Um, so yeah, if there's like a specific question about like how to use Photoshop, I can help you there, but that's about all the advice I can give at the moment. It's really about like learning the program, whichever I say Photoshop because that's what I use. But if you're using like uh, Clip Studio or whatever, like you just have to learn what it can do and how those tools work.
Excellent, excellent. Hey, thank you again for the answers, the questions. If we do have any more questions from the, oh wait, we do have an audience question. It is the Mimic. Excellent, the Mimic. I'm gonna go ahead and invite you into here. Go ahead, accept that invite, and we'll get this all started.
Delightful. Hello.
Hello.
So my question is, I remember back when the cover art came out, you mentioned that you didn't use any 3D models for the buildings. I have to ask, did you just set up a perspective grid and go?
More or less, yeah. Yes. Um,
That
it
is
was.
terrifying.
It's
And I
not the
mean that
most
as a
efficient.
compliment.
Like I don't. This was a challenge. I'd not done anything. I'd say to date, it's probably the most challenging illustration that I've done. Because I'm not really like when it comes to really technical stuff, buildings, vehicles, robots, like stuff like that. I'm not that good at them, to be honest. Or I struggle with them. If I pound my head against the wall, I'll eventually get there, and that's kind of what happened with the cover. So yeah, it's just like I looked at a lot of pictures of cities, sort of picked out details of buildings to emulate, tried to keep it diverse in the architecture as much as I could. Um, but then also like so much of it is about atmosphere. Um, so yeah, it was a really tough job, honestly. Um,
Yeah,
so
well,
thank
it
you.
is
I'm glad you.
astounding.
Thank
Especially
you
with
so
just
much.
perspective grid and go, because it's just the composition is beautiful. I know just enough about art to know some fun art school words. And it's a masterpiece, frankly.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. How do I leave?
How do I leave may be my favorite question we've had today.
You're here forever. Okay, we're coming up on another hour, so folks, if you do have a question, this is really the time to raise your hand. I
Yeah,
don't know, how you
I
feeling,
think at
John?
this point, a couple more probably, if there's any more, and we can call in, I think.
Okay. I had some final mod questions that are pretty standard. If people raise their hand since then, we can still take them. But there were two questions. Well, the main one was one that I had when we were talking about 80s movies again. I was wondering which movies you thought that we should make sure the server watches, either ones that are just your favorites or your largest influences, or just to understand your work with the Protomen specifically.
Hmm. Ooh. Um, I mean, Blade Runner has always been a big touchstone for me. Like when I was doing that the website illustration, we were just looking at Sid Mead concept art from Blade Runner. So yeah, I mean, it's one of the most incredible like production design achievements like in film, I think. So I mean, Blade Runner for sure. Um, for me, I always say Alien is my favorite movie of all time. I love everything about it. Again, the production design is incredible. The cinematography is it's beautiful. There are like some shots in there that blow me away. So, and yeah, I think either of those would be good ones to watch. Trying to think like
Great.
what would be maybe a weird one, like an out of the box one for you guys. But I mean, I think watching some westerns would be fun too, or any like samurai movies.
Yeah, I don't think
Since
we're
they're
as familiar
essentially
with westerns as we are as 80s sci-fi in here.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I haven't gotten confirmation from the band, but I think The Great Silence is a super strong uh candidate for like a good spaghetti western to watch because it's grim as hell. It's like for me, like it matches up with like the Protomen's kind of story. Um, so I think The Great Silence is a good one if you can find it.
Awesome. All right, we have two audience questions, and I'll make those the last ones, so I'm turning off the ability for people to raise their hand now. Katie, Blue Rose Katie, I'm inviting you.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm actually asking a question from a friend who wasn't able to attend. They wanted to ask whether the EP cover for The City Made Us and the key art are meant to mirror each other.
I think you're talking about the three buildings with the two figures art. Am I am I correct there?
Yes, that piece, and then the boots with the helmet walking away. If those two are meant to
The
mirror each other.
I think it's depicting the same scene in part. Yeah, the figure walking away from the other figure is that scene. Um, so yes, in a way, yes.
Ooh, thank you.
Like I said, they play a long game. Um, they've known, you know, where their story is heading for a long time. So
Yeah, I don't know them, but
they
I don't know them, but I do a lot of media analysis, and that's been my impression as well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think you're gonna, yeah, there's callbacks all over the place. Um, so yeah, you guys always find them. I mean, I think this was another question, was about details that we've included that maybe haven't been found. I don't think so. Like the fans are incredibly meticulous. So a lot of the little connections have been made. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I was saying I really enjoy that the band adds those kinds of details because they trust that the fans will find it. And of course that you put them in the art because people are going to find them. So it's a fun relationship.
Yeah, it's definitely fun when people find them. When I see the posts of like someone discovering like, oh, that's a reference to that. I'm like, yes, gratified.
All right. This is the last audience question from Alexandros. I am sending you an invite to speak.
Hey, got that right.
Yep.
Oh,
Hello.
okay, cool. Oh, sorry, I changed my output. That's very cool. So this is a very silly question. But as an artist, if you could be, consequences be damned, be sent back to any time or place in modern art history, and take a crack at making the, poster for a movie or album cover for any piece of media, what would it be?
Ooh. Oh boy. Uh
Assuming there are no weird time travel consequences here. This is not like a Terminator 2 situation.
Man, I would love to try a Seven Samurai poster. Uh that's yeah. Give me a crack at the Seven Samurai poster.
Fair enough. That's a
See,
good
the
answer.
fun thing, thank you. That's like doing. I talked about movie posters a bit. How I got into the alt movie poster collecting world, and yeah, I mean, as an artist, it's like impossible. It's like the kind of stuff that I would love to do. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's like really tough because there's so many phenomenal movies that I think deserve better posters, and even some terrible movies I think deserve better posters. Um, so yeah, I don't even know what the like official, if there was like a one sheet for Seven Samurai, but um, that would be super cool to do.
Well, thank you. That was all I
Thank
got.
you. Yeah, thanks for the question.
Okay, I have one last mod question. I don't remember if I actually sent it to you ahead of time. And then we'll just wrap up by making sure that you tell everybody once again where to get your stuff. If there was a project that you really wanted to, like, a project that you'd be really excited to work on, like with the Protomen, that hasn't been done, what would that be?
I think, um, man, I mean, I know a lot of people are interested in doing like a comic version of the story, and I think that would be awesome. I would love to do a comic version. Um, that would be so much fun for me. And also, so I got to do production design